Hi, everyone. We're going to talk a little bit about privilege, race, and racism. So what is privilege? The dictionary defines privilege as a right or immunity granted as a peculiar benefit, advantage, or favor, special enjoyment of a good or exemption from an evil or burden, a special opportunity to do something that makes you proud, and the advantage that wealthy and powerful people have over other people in a society. The National Association of School Psychologists state privilege is based on two concepts. Privilege includes unearned advantages that are highly valued but restricted to certain groups. These unearned advantages are those that someone receives by identifying or being born into a specific group. The groups who have received these advantages have not earned them due to hard work, but rather affiliation, example being born into a wealthy family. When control or power has been given to one group, this group may earn privileges that have not been afforded to other groups. So simplistically, Group A can use their privilege to gain and exert power over groups B and C. Thus, they enjoy privileges not accessible to others. Light skin privilege is not something that white people necessarily do, create, or enjoy on purpose. White skin privilege is a transparent preference for whiteness that saturates our society. It serves several functions. It provides white people with perks that may not be earned. It creates advantages for white individuals and immunity to many challenges. It shapes the world in which we live, the way we navigate and interact with one another and the rest of the world. Consider the following. When I cut my finger and go to my school or office's first aid kit, the flesh-colored Band-Aid generally matches my skin tone. I can go shopping alone most of the time, pretty well assured that I will not be followed or harassed. When I run to the store to buy pantyhose at the last minute, the nude color generally appears nude on my legs. When I buy hair care products in a grocery store or drugstore, my shampoos and conditioners are in the aisle and section labeled hair care and not in a separate section for ethnic products. I can turn on the television or open to the front page of the paper and see people of my race widely represented. I can walk through certain neighborhoods without being stopped or asked questions. These scenarios are all scenarios that a white privileged person would say they have experienced. White fragility, Dr. Robin DiAngelo defines as a state in which even a minimum amount of racial stress becomes intolerable, triggering a range of defensive moves. Discomfort and or defensiveness on the part of a white individual when confronted by information about racial inequality and injustice. Colorism is privilege of skin tone, not just in a Black and white society context, but in communities of color. Privilege of skin tone happens in communities of color as well. The brown paper bag test, an actual test in common used in the early 1900s among upper class Black American societies and families to determine if a Black person was sufficiently white to gain admittance or acceptance. If your skin was darker than a brown paper bag, you did not merit inclusion. Thousands of Black institutions, including the nation's most eminent Black fraternity, Phi Alpha Phi, Howard University, and numerous church and civic groups all practice this discrimination. In some areas, this practice still has not totally died out. Social and privilege hierarchy in Asian and Latino communities based on the lightness of skin tone. Light skin privilege, the lighter your skin tone, the more privilege you have. Lighter skin is equated with higher socioeconomic status, higher education levels, and more beauty. So colorism, privilege of skin tone in communities of color may look like this, right? that colorism drives the beauty standards. So just some things to think about, and we'll see you online. Take care.